The Prime Minister was being interviewed today, and even though he was allowed to get away with telling blatant lies, he still got very tetchy. He got really frustrated at being asked questions. Now, I don't really rate Trevor Phillips as an interviewer. He knows what kind of questions he's going to be asking. I mean, after all, he's prepared them. And yet he doesn't have any facts or figures to counter any lies that he can expect. And it's not like Sunak's going to completely throw a curveball here. I mean, he's not saying anything that nobody's heard before. It's the same thing over again. We have a plan, stick to the plan, back to square one, and all that nonsense. So, for example, he was allowed to say that the last Labour government completely bankrupted the country. That's a lie. At the time the Conservative took office, debt was at 69% of GDP. Now it's over 100%. And yet they're allowed to say that it was the last Labour government that bankrupted us. He was allowed to say that the Labour councillors bankrupted Birmingham City Council, without being challenged on the 40% reduction in central government funding, or the fact that there's at least 3 other Conservative-run councils that have also been bankrupted. So to sit there and be allowed to score cheap political points and not being held accountable, you would have thought that Sunak would have been in his element. Instead, he's so bad at politics. On the small chance he does get asked something he doesn't really want to answer, he just gets really annoyed and tetchy and comes across as a petulant school kid. I mean, he can't possibly watch this interview back and be proud of his performance and look at it and go, yeah, nailed it. Have a watch and tell me what you think in the comments. Was he getting frustrated with the questions, or were the questions just really silly?
Let's talk about something that was important. When you arrived as Prime Minister, having been Chancellor, your ratings, personal ratings, were 30 points ahead of your party. Today, you are down where your party is, in really massively negative territory. Do you feel disappointed that the Conservative Party has dragged you down? It's ruining your reputation.
No, I don't. Again, it's probably like the fourth or fifth question you've asked, where you've talked about polls and politics. And you know what? I tell you what I do every day. I get up and I work hard to deliver for the country on the things that they care about. And I actually, you know what? I'm not distracted or focused on polls.
I've asked you about policy.
No. But I'm saying, but this is just a big difference. I'm focused on the substance of what I can deliver for the country.
And your colleagues this week.
Yeah.
You've got to deal with that point. And I'm really just asking you.
And I'm very happy to talk about that, Trevor. Right. So let's talk about. You said
dragged you down.
But again, let's talk about this week. Right, but the substance of what's going to happen this week is in the West Midlands, there's a choice. The Labour Party have bankrupted Birmingham, the largest local authority in Europe, and put up council tax by 21%.
You have told me that already. I got that.
But this is my point. That's the substance of what's happening this week. Not some poll about this or a poll about that or who says this. The substance is there's a council tax rise of 21% of everyone in Birmingham. Andy Street is delivering for people. In Teesside, Ben Houchin has delivered levelling up in action, saving the airport, attracting government jobs, investing in high streets and town centres. That is the reality. In London, crime is going up when it's going down everywhere else. That's the substance of what these elections are about. Not about this poll or who said what about this person.
Who said what about this person? What it seems to me is that you're quite reluctant to talk about the most important person here, which is you. I spoke to a leading Conservative, I won't tell you where they are in Parliament, but a supporter of yours, somebody who likes you, who has spoken out for you and so on. And what that individual said is this: he wished that you had stayed doing the job as Chancellor, and that you would be remembered as a brilliant Chancellor rather than the Prime Minister who took the Tories into the wilderness. If you could turn the clock back, would you take his advice?
No, I made my reasons for that clear at the time, but I'm proud of the record that I have as Chancellor, and that's where people got to know me. I became Chancellor. 3 weeks later, we got hit with a hopefully once-in-a-century pandemic, and people saw what I could do for this country. I stepped up to get the country through a very difficult time, protected 10 million jobs in the process, and ensured that we had the fastest economic recovery out of the pandemic out of any major European economy. So yes, that is a record that of course I'm proud of, and I'm bringing exactly that same set of values and exactly that same set of dedication to the job that I have now. And that's why, on the priorities that people care about, whether it's bringing inflation down, growing the economy, reducing our debt, cutting waiting lists, which we haven't talked about, which are now down over the last 5 months, or indeed stopping the boats with my determination to get the Rwanda scheme going.
Number from September.
So these are all the things that I'm delivering and focused on, right? So that's what I'm all about. That's the substance of what we're doing. And after a difficult few years, we have turned a corner and things are pointing in the right direction. And I am absolutely committed and energised to deliver for this country and this job.
Last question, Prime Minister. If you lose, there will be no regrets then?
Again, you're focused on all this personality stuff. I'm focused on delivering for the country.
I'm focused on you.
And what I'm doing is getting up every single day and working my hardest to deliver for people on the things that matter to them and matter to me. And as you've seen over just the past week or two, that's what we're doing.
In previous PMQs, Sunak seems to think it's quite funny that our mortgages have gone up. And in the video you can see on screen now, he's laughing at all of us. So have a watch of that next. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. And I'll see you next time.